I'm Eugene Tan. I'm from the class of 1986 RI. On this Teachers' Day, I want to remember the many teachers who have inspired me to be an educator today. School was where I spent the bulk of my time, from flag raising to flag lowering. When I look back at my days in the RI, there were many teachers who made a difference, and from whom today I still recall many of the formation and experiences that I've learned from them. Let me begin with the principals. In my first 3 years, there was Mr. A.K. Sigamani, and in my final year, Mr. Eugene Wijayasinghe began his tenure. Their leadership were in very contrasting styles, but I think what was significant and common to both men was that they kept RI interests paramount. They led the school through very challenging times. In Mr. A.K. Sigamani's case, that was trying to ensure that the school spirit remained strong, despite the pre-university division leaving RI to form Raffles Junior College. For Mr. Wijayasinghe, it was the move from Grange Road to Pishan, as well as the transformation to an independent school. And I think when I look back at these transformative moments in school history, I would say that their leadership meant a world of difference. One could also think of Mr. Tan Kim Cheng, who, as the senior assistant, kept the welfare of the boys very much at the top of his agenda. Despite his stern demeanor, he was always there for the pupils. He was always there to lend an encouraging hand. He was always there to support and to inspire. In the classroom, for me, of course, the lessons that I've learned, many of which have been forgotten. But I think what mattered to a young teenager who wasn't as strong academically as he should be going to the O-levels, it was really the teacher's belief, perseverance, and confidence that we could all rise to the occasion. And I think that trust and confidence that the teachers had in us contributed very significantly to us being confident, self-assured, but also people, young boys, with empathy. And in this regard, I want to make special mention of my form teacher in secondary 4, Mr. Chan Yuk Man. He had to handle a boisterous class, but he never ever gave up on this boisterous group of boys. But he was also the teachers in my extracurricular activities, as they were then known, who contributed perhaps the most. And I'm a firm believer in co-curricular activities, because I think that's where we learned values that will be with us for life. So when I think about my days as a swim captain, I think it was Miss Emily Ang, who was the teacher in charge when I was the school swim captain, who gave me a lot of autonomy, encouraged me to take a lot of responsibility, but also provided very watchful guidance during my time, as the school swim captain. And I think when I look back at my days on the swim team, there is so much fondness, right? The belief that you could do almost anything, the belief that you had in teamwork, the belief that we all had in trying to work towards being the best that we could be in competitions. And so it was very natural for me, to continue helping out with the swim team even after I left RI. And so that was also when I got to meet teachers who never taught me, whether you're looking at Mrs. Rosie Smith or Mrs. Cheryl Yap, for whom these two are now friends. And I'm so grateful, that I've learned so much from them. In Scouts, there was Miss Lee Wai Kuen. She was also the junior choir teacher in charge. And so through these two CCAs, I learned, the meaning of dedication, of the commitment to excellence, and of course the passion, that Miss Lee brought, to her duties and responsibilities. In the prefectoral board, there was Miss Doreen Tambaya. She gave the senior prefects, a lot of guidance, gave us a lot of autonomy, but at the same time, also expected a lot from us, in terms of our duties and our responsibilities. And so all these contributed in so many different ways to my development as well as my peers. And on this Teachers' Day, I want to thank all of them. I want to remember some of them who have passed on. And I would say that, what they have done is something that, continues to live on, in the hearts and minds of many Rafflesians today.
Hi, my name is Rama. I'm from the class of 1991. I just wanted to say, remember, and as well as say a wonderful few words about Mr. Jayakumar, our Tamil teacher. Just three things. First of all, Mr. Jayakumar was a very patient teacher. We have many students coming from a variety of families and different language proficiency in Tamil. But he never at any one time got upset or angry of how we're learning Tamil as a language. But he always cared about every one of us. And for all his patience, I really like to thank him. Secondly, he always worries about our well-being. Not just the Tamil students, but how we are growing up in school and how we are doing in a variety of sports, activities, and school as a whole. And he always asks us about how we are doing and making sure that we are well prepared for the future. Thirdly, his love for Tamil language. And he's the first one or first teacher ever pioneered a Tamil cultural event in RI. His vision was not just to bring about the talent and the ability of the students and the love for Tamil just within RI, but he kind of pioneered the event to bring about students from a variety of schools, almost 100 over schools every single year. And he wanted to project RI as a center of that learning and bringing about a community of people who would really love Tamil language. And all these three things, not just a few words about Mr. Jayakumar, but his love for language and love for students is what I always remember about Mr. Jayakumar. And as we celebrate 20 years of RI, I wish to thank him and wish to hope to see him pretty soon after all the COVID and really thank him in person. Thank you, and I'm wishing RI the very best another 20 years. Thank you.